Okay, we're gonna hope that I can get this filmed before the landscapers start back up again. Hello everybody, my name is Danny and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to what I am calling my Priori-TBR, because I love combining words. This is basically all of my priority books that I want to read soon because I'm super into them, or for other reasons that aren't part of my 22 manga or 22 books that I want to read in 2022 lists. So I have 6 books I want to talk to you about today. I have 3 fantasy, 1 contemporary, and 2 classics. So without further ado, I'm just gonna get talking about them. So first up, we should probably talk about the elephant in the room, and that is Inheritance by Christopher Paolini. So, if you have been watching my videos for a little while, you might know that last year, one of my goals for the year was to read the Inheritance cycle. They were 4 books that were on my list of 21 books to read in 2021, and I did read the first 3. I read the first one, Aragon, as part of the first month of the Nostalgia Train book club, and then I ended up reading the second and third books later on in the year, and then I was supposed to read Inheritance in December. It was part of my Skibr TBR, and I read some of it. I think I got like 2 chapters in, maybe 3, and then I gave up. This book is chonky. How many pages is this? It is 849 pages. Oh my god. But, yes, this is definitely a book that I really want to read to finish out this series. I really liked Aragon. It definitely had some faults, but I very much enjoyed it. The second one was pretty good too. I wasn't really a fan of the third one, but I want to finish out the series and see how it all ends. And I want to do it soon, because otherwise I'm going to forget too much and I'm going to have to reread the first 3 books before I get to this, and I don't want to do that. That's a lot of pages, and I would rather just read this before it gets to that point, but it's so intimidating. So I don't know when I'm gonna get to this, but I gotta kick my butt into gear and get to it soon. Next, we have Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. This is like an old original copy before they changed the name of the first book. I don't even know what the first book is called now, but this one just says Mistborn on it. But I bought the first 3 Mistborn books, so like the original trilogy, from a secondhand shop in, I want to say February or maybe early March. I really don't remember when, but I bought them. They were like $5 each, and I'm excited to get to these. I have been told to start reading these books for like a decade now, and I just never got around to them. And Brandon Sanderson has such a long list of books now that it's kind of intimidating, that I don't want to read this first trilogy and be like, okay, well now I have to read the rest. I don't want to go into it that mindset. I want to be like, okay, it's just 3 books, I can get to it, I'm not getting into the whole world yet, and if I like them, then I can get into the whole Cosmere. But it's very intimidating with all of those books, and these first 3 are pretty long too. I mean, this one's just over 600 pages, and then the other 2 do get longer, but I do want to read this. It's a modern fantasy classic for a reason, and I want to get on the hype train for Brandon Sanderson and the Mistborn books, so this is one that I very much want to get to very soon. And the third fantasy on this list is The Stormcrow by Kaylin Josephson. I just looked at the cover and I already forgot the name. This is book 2 in the duology. I don't physically own book 1, but this came into my job, and for $1.25, I didn't want to say no to that because I know that at least I've seen a lot of love for the first one. I haven't seen so much about specifically the second one, but I do have access to the first one on Scribd, which is why I felt comfortable buying this one. I don't usually like to buy later books in a series without at least having access to the earlier ones, but I know very little about this. There are crows and I think elemental magic in this series. I'm not positive on that though, that's just kind of something I heard, but it seems like a very solid like YA fantasy duology, and I like YA fantasy. I have been a little bit more into the adult fantasy lately, but YA is still very good. And I don't know why, I just feel really pulled to read this, so I'm hoping to get to this duology within the next couple of months. Now, I don't really read contemporary all that much, but one contemporary that I really want to get to is Permanent Record by Mary H.K. Choi. Look at how gorgeous this cover is, and the dust jacket for it, if I can get it off, is clear and has one face on it and then the other face is underneath, which is so cool. Like with the Stormcrow, this book came in at my job, and for $1.25 I could not say no, and it's a contemporary romance. There's a hair on the cover, that's gross, and I don't know a whole lot about it other than I think the female lead is like a celebrity or something, and it's like a chance encounter kind of romance. I don't know, I've just been in the mood for some more romance stuff, and whether that's fantasy romance or something else, I don't really care. I'm not very picky about it, but yeah, this is one that I am hoping to get to soon, as with all of the rest of them, which is why it's in this video. And moving right along to the classics on this list, the first one I have is Beowulf. So I bought this in December from a secondhand bookshop, and I've kind of read Beowulf before. I've read the first part where it's Beowulf versus Grendel, and I know what happens in the rest of the story, but I never actually read the rest. And so when I saw this really cool, very simple edition, I'm like, yeah, I'll buy it. And it's less than 100 pages. It's literally 55 pages. So I'm thinking that the next time my TBR makes me pick a book under 100 pages, this might be the choice. It's very dense because it's Beowulf, but I do really like the story, and I feel like my current work in progress, my Dragons No Dragons story, very much draws from Beowulf, subconsciously. I didn't mean to do that on purpose, but I feel like it has very much Beowulf vibes, and so reading this while I'm working on that story might be a good idea. And last but not least, we have Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I have this movie tie-in edition from the most recent Netflix adaptation, which I haven't seen, and I honestly can't tell you if I've read this book before or not. I know the story, I know it very well, but I don't know if I've read it. I might have, but I might not have. It might just be from exposure because it is a classic and very well loved. I do know the song by, is it Megan Dia? Maybe? I don't know. That basically tells the entire plot of the book. And 2 years ago, when I was writing my thesis and I was in a thesis class, one of my fellow students was doing her thesis on this book. She did a eco-feminist reading of Rebecca, which was so good. I loved her thesis. The presentation was amazing. And for the past couple years, I've just been thinking about reading this. And then, surprise, surprise, it came in at work. We get a bunch of random books in at work. It's all overstock from actual bookstores that come in, which is great for me. But I picked it up, and I just have been looking at it on my shelf for weeks, being like, I want to read that so bad, but I have to read other things. And I want to get to it so bad. I'm just so in the mood for it, but I just haven't bothered to pick it up, which is my fault. But that is the last book on this Priori-TBR. And so to summarize, these are the 6 books that I am most eager to get to that aren't currently on my 22 books to read in 2022 list. This is heavy, so I'm going to put it down. Let me know down in the comments if there's anything that you really are hunkering to get to soon. I definitely want to hear about it. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel for more content, and that way I will see you in the next video. Bye guys!